On a sweltering afternoon in the 1870s, a cluster of cowboys caught a friend stealing their livestock. After a pleasant supper, the cowboys sentenced the man to death. To the cowboys' surprise, the man replied,
"Boys, I'll not argue with you. I'll not deny my guilt or ask for mercy. But I want at least one honest man to have a part in my hanging."
He then challenged the cowboys with a paraphrase of Jesus' words.
"Now I want the one of you who never stole a cow to step forward and put the noose around my neck."
The Lynch party stood bewildered for a moment, then laughed aloud at the man's audacity and let him go without even a warning. The fate of this man was not typical. Most cattle rustlers caught in the act would have been tried and convicted on the spot, not in a court of law, but by what was popularly known as Judge Lynch, the Vigilante Mob. Drinking, gambling, and prostitution also tempted cowboys, buffalo hunters, and soldiers who made their home on the range. With pockets full of money, these young men yearned for entertainment. Doc Holliday and others preyed on these inexperienced men and left many takers with no money for breakfast. Illegal prostitutes risked jail or banishment to fill men's solitude at 25 cents per service. Gunfights were common on the Texas frontier, recalled pioneer R.A. Slack.
A killing was one of the ordinary expected events of the night, in which comments were over and the incident closed by the time the blood had been mopped up from the floor.
Thus, the first edition of the Buffalo Gap News, the town's first newspaper, casually reported the events of a local murder.
On the morning of the 24th, Mr. Lewis Collins was killed by some unknown parties in the back room of the Alamos Saloon. The deceased was a cowboy. He was buried in the town burial grounds.
Common violence was noted only if it occurred in an interesting manner. Crime was rampant and punishment swift on the frontier of the 1870s, but within a decade, the rule of law would come into place with the building of courthouses, the election of judges, and the hiring of peace officers, creating a new era for the region.